All right, welcome to the Party Pals, GRC Mafia. You guys should be able to hear me now that I got the settings correct. It seems like every single Monday, I forgot to set the settings correctly and it defaults separately. Yes, welcome to Tuesday Eve, GRC Mafia. So right out the gate, we're here to break down barriers, foster collaboration and community, working towards a more secure future for everybody. Definitely a learning and growing environment. Ask your questions, share your resources, and so forth. The best place to drop links, including your social media profiles in order to connect offline, or technically still online, just outside of our streams, is inside of our Discord server. So if you hop into our Discord server, then you could post your social media and resource links and things like that over there in the live chat channel. There's a few other channels there as well. That's definitely where we go outside of these live streams and for support, community collaboration, and so forth. Throughout this stream here, definitely ask questions and share those resources, even if it doesn't pertain to exactly what we're talking about. Worst case scenario, we'll circle back around to it. Don't share anything you don't want to be public. This is the internet after all. If you do happen to do so, reach out to me on Discord, LinkedIn, or you can also contact me at contact@studygrc.org. Let's see here. And also, thank you to B-Dubs for stepping in on Friday. Hacked the stream and everything, locked me out, you know. But it sounds like that went really well. So B-Dubs did go through and publish a blog today. So every Tuesday Eve, B-Dubs publishes a blog related to GRC cybersecurity, and then also working on the CISSP study groups on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. and then on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Central. So definitely check that out. Let's see here. So we got B-Dubs in chat. We got Cam. We got Rania. We got Regine popping in. Evan. Brocka Barebones. Josh. AMK. Bam. GRC Mafia. Now let's see here. I just want to double check chat and everything else. Also, to get this introduction complete, our website as well for the rest of the platforms that we stream to, including our calendar and our resources page. We did recently update our resources page, which we have a command for now. But you can also access this through our website as well. The calendar and the resources page are the two biggest ones. Especially the resources page, we're really looking for more feedback on what, if you guys have anything else to include on it, what are your thoughts on the style and layout and so forth, because we've completely redesigned it and actually did a start.me GRC related page instead. Welcome to the Party Pal, Jason, even if you're just lurking in the shadows. Sarah Montgomery popping in, GRC Mafia. Bam. We even got PBO popping in too. Jeez. The 853 itself. Chris, your skin looks off-white. Have you been outdoors? Yeah, I got several hours worth of sunlight on Friday during my biannual daylight outing. I don't think my body's used to so much vitamin D. And then also these lights that I'm using are probably a little too bright. I've noticed on some of the videos, it seems like the lighting is just way too bright. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and transition over here and so forth. But yeah, thank you, B-Dubs, for stepping in the other day on Friday and so forth. So today, I figured we would go through some of the information security policy. I wanted to showcase this once again. I had talked about this last time about the Google dorking and how you can go through and do that. There's a really awesome room on Try Hack Me that talks about that. Yeah, biannual daylight outing, correct, yes. I try to travel at night when possible. So this provides, you can go through, you can select just PDF types. You could do an Excel document and so forth. Like just for an example, we could do audit findings. Okay, and let's see what pops up. So common internal audit findings and how to avoid them, how auditors develop findings, single audit, most common federal award, all kinds of different stuff, common audit findings. So there's all kinds of stuff you could do with Google Dorking. It's really neat. But that leads us to this policy right here. So the Office of Information Technology Services, IT Policy Information Security. So we can see this was actually just revised, updated February 2nd of 2025 from the Office of Information Technology Services for New York, for New York's information technology standards. And this gives you a really good real life example of how a lot of this stuff looks too. And so this is a 23-page document. We'll probably skim through this a little bit. And then there's also another really awesome resource I wanted to show as well. Let me double check. Vampire or werewolf. I just don't like daylight. Yeah. Like even outside of the streams, I've mentioned it before. I'm like in a complete blackout room. Like I have some of the best blackout inserts for my windows and so forth as possible. Even my screens are dimmed to the lowest brightness. I picked out my monitor because of how dim the screen can get. Welcome to the party, pal, GRC Mafia. All right, so let's take a look at this, and I'm going to drop a link to this in chat. So if you guys want to follow along or take a look at it outside of the stream, definitely go through and do so. So just skimming this over, purpose and benefits. I'm just going to try to pick out some of the different key areas. If you guys see anything you want to talk more about, we do see right here in the first bulletin, the CIA Triad, confidentiality, integrity, and availability for information and related infrastructure assets. The purpose also manage the risk of security exposure or compromise. Ensure a secure and stable information technology IT environment. Identify and respond to events involving information asset misuse, loss, and unauthorized disclosure. Monitor systems for abnormalities and might indicate compromise. That might indicate compromise. I mean, everybody's going to be a little bit different. I would have probably put like, and potential indicators of compromise or something like that. But the authority. So this is a little bit different because the authority is the fact that they are literally a state agency or otherwise, which gives them the authority to enact such a policy. This would be a little bit different. You know, what authority does the Information Security Department have over the rest of the organization, and who gives them that authority? The scope, the policy applies to all SEs defined in the state government. Okay, and it's utilizing, like, I had no idea what SEs even meant. And so it does define it right up here. So state entities is what they're referring to when they mention SEs. So that's probably going to be important moving forward. All right, so back down here, the scope itself. So applies to all state entities defined as state government through an executive order and so forth. Yes, very, very true. It's not that I don't like the sun. I don't know. It's just not a preference. If I don't have to, then why would I? I prefer the dark way more. Like, even when I do go for walks and so forth, like I go in the evenings or early morning before sunrise. There's nothing like more calming than like going on a nice long walk in the middle of the night, right? That's one of the benefits of not living in a major city. The biggest concern I have at night is a mountain lion or bear or something. Some wild animal attacking me. All right. So the scope is for all state agencies. Oh, and they did do us the honor of actually clarifying that there as well, which would have been useful. Information statement, so organizational security. Information security requires both an information risk management function, including cyber-related risk management, and an information technology security function. All right. Is there like a table of contents here? Or... I don't think there is. No, they just get right into the meat of it. All right. Let's see. I kind of wanted like a high-level view of the sections in here, but they do have a really nice revision section. So this is awesome. So this is at the very bottom for the revision history. You could see here, so oldest to latest. That is actually really kind of concerning. So you could see here that this policy was originally put out in 2003, and then the next update, the next revision was 2014. And then you could see multiple revisions rapidly following, only a few months apart. Deborah A., Snyder, they have all of the different people involved with that and so forth. The CIO reviewer for the original 2003. And so I wouldn't say that this is uncommon, though. A lot of businesses don't have a proper policy management in place, it seems. And now you could just see a whole layout. And then, so in 2014, they did several. In 2015, they did several. And then since then, it looks like they've mostly stuck to once a year, but they did have several rapid updates in 2018 as well. I do wish that they might have, so they state, updated authority, scope, and title of office, corrected numbering in section 4.14, revised to clarify state entity and workforce responsibilities. I think that's pretty good for the revisions. Like, I was going to say, like, I wish they were a little bit better, more defined, but I think that's more than good enough, actually. They also include related documents at the bottom here. So one of the things, I think it was on this policy, it might be the next one that I was going to showcase, because I don't see it here. There was a reference to 53 in here as well. I just skimmed past. But yeah, so information statement. We were just going over the organizational statement. Functional responsibilities. Evaluating and accepting risk on behalf of the SE, so state entity. I'm going to double check chat again. Oh my god, Team Werewolf, what the hell? I do not. I've seen Twilight, but I'm not in that whole realm thing whatsoever. I think that, yeah. Yeah, you need more. Well, and like Space Taco says, way more clarity from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Grade your shift is my friend. I did work night shift for many, many years. But yeah, I just like how calm everything is early morning. Evaluating and accepting risk on behalf of the state entity. The SE information security responsibilities and goals and integrating them into relevant processes. Supporting the consistent implementation of information security policies and standards, supporting security within the SE through clear direction and demonstrated commitment of appropriate resources. So very, very high level stuff. Promoting awareness of information security best practices through the regular dissemination of materials provided by the ISO. Correct me if I'm wrong, but ISO, Information Security Officer, I believe, if I remember correctly offhand. All right, implementing a process for determining information classification and categorization based on industry recommended practices. So they're also stating that you must implement a process for data classification and categorization based on industry recommended practices. PBO will probably drop it in chat, but NIST has a document for data classification as well. That's also an entire section for media on 853. Implementing the process for information asset identification, handling, use, transmission, and disposal based on information classification and categorization. I think, so this was recently updated in February. I think they could definitely do a better job at following the plain language guidelines. So a lot of this is very high level and so forth. And I think that, you know, somebody could definitely follow this. But there is still a lot of terminology in here. They did mention CIA earlier and broke that down for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. But I don't feel like they really followed this plain language guideline very well. Let me see here. So there is a complete guideline for it too. And I know that this does apply to federal agencies at least. So federal plain language guidelines. I think this is only enforced for federal level, which is really kind of ironic, to be honest with you, because I think there's a lot of federal documentation, publications, and acts and so forth that are not very plain language. But I'm going to drop this in chat as well. Yeah, and so Josh mentions a 53 mention in 4.5 information classification and handling. Bam. Yeah, and see, like Jason, like I really like to wake up around 3 o'clock in the morning, ideally. And then like those first couple hours is just the coffee and catching up on things and so forth. But yeah, see, there's some early people, or at least late night people. Night shift graveyard. Well, now you have the opportunity to add the plain language to the treasure trove. This is a great mention for Space Tacos, has a archive of information related to GRC, mental health, information technology, and so forth in a Discord server, and those links are going in the chat right now. But yeah, so the plain language, I highly recommend looking at this. I think if you're going to be writing policies and procedures, or even just internal communications and so forth, there's a lot of really great information on here. It's not even to simplify the language per se. It's really just to take into account on what people are good at and what people really aren't. I think this really gives you a better idea of like, oh, maybe I should rephrase this differently or provide an analogy for this particular thing, and take into account who the audience really is. I'm not going to be utilizing a lot of this terminology, a lot of the technical terminology or jargon, in company policies when the large majority of the company they're non-technical. So why would I? They have a really good, like what I'm showing here right now is online training. They have an entire list here for different video courses you could take as well. That one of these was like 6 hours not 6 hours. It was 6 different modules, which was a little over an hour, which gives you a really good introduction to it. And then 4.5, oh, is that an ISO? Oh no, yeah. So the ISO is responsible for, which I believe is Information Security Officer, maintaining familiarity with state entity business functions and requirements, assessing SE compliance with information security policies, evaluating security risks and assisting the SE in understanding its information security risks and how to appropriately manage. So what it kind of sounds to me is that would these state entities be assigned or have a role within their department or otherwise within their agency as an ISO? So they would have an information security officer that would be in charge of their security programs. And I kind of wonder if that is a requirement for state agencies. And then I'm assuming that there would be a hierarchy where they would report back to this information security agency for the state. threat information to appropriate parties, response to potential security incidences, very, very broad. IT management is responsible for. So this is really just going through, it linked out to another one there. So 4.5, I want to go to that one real quick, and then we'll move on to the next one. Where are we looking here? IT asset management. All IT hardware and software assets must be assigned by the SE. And then here's 4.5. So information, classification, and handling. All information which is created, acquired, or used in support of SE business activities must only be used for its intended business purposes. And so this is in regards to the handling process. Assets must have an information owner established. Information must be properly managed from its creation through authorized use to proper disposal. That's another spot where they could also, implement some type of data lifecycle or otherwise. Yeah, here's the 853B, so the control baselines reference. So each classification has an approved set of baseline controls designed to protect the data asset and is aligned with 853B. And so 853B will go through and actually dictate out like what is the baseline for it, low, medium, and high. And I'm going to pull up another page here. So I'm actually going to use this new resources page. So this is our new resources page here. And so I'm going to go over here on the left-hand side. And what I plan on doing is I'm going to make a short video embedded on here, showcasing like some of the purposes and thought behind these different sections. Definitely 100% still in the making. But now if I open up our Trello board, so this is the Trello board for the 853. You could see that, hopefully it showcases. Yeah, you guys can see this. Oh, I still have one of the comments up here. The high, moderate, and low for the baselines. And that's one of the reasons why I went through and did these Trello boards, is because it has the 20 family groups. And then we could also filter this by just the low baselines or the moderate or the high baseline. And it gives us a really good idea. Easy to filter, easy to search. And so we're going to use this here in just a moment. So this other one I wanted to show you, I'm going to drop the link to this, but so you guys may be aware that GitLab does go through and makes their policies, procedures, a lot of their company documentation completely free and open source to this extent. So they make it to where they have this entire archive. I'm going to drop this in chat for this particular one for the asset management or access management policy. And you guys can take a look. So on the left-hand side, you can see all of these different things over here, from sales, product handbook, marketing, people groups, people policies, labor and employment notices. And then they also have a section here for security at GitLab. And we have change management policy, access management policy, controlled document, corporate security, critical projects, external security communications procedure, a lot of different really awesome examples. This is a really good resource to also get some ideas as well. And one of the things I wanted to note on here, which I did drop this in chat, Evan also wanted to note here that ISO and ISSO, Information System Security Officer, are separate in different roles and responsibilities. Evan, did you want to come up and provide us a comparison between the two? I have no idea. I know of each of them, but I don't know the differences. The Information System Security Officer, I would assume, is for the particular systems. Information Security Officer is a more broad terminology, would be my assumption. one more directed towards infrastructure. Let me know how far off I am there, Evan. Yes, coffee all day, every day. Oh, come on, Evan. I mean, I don't know if I'd be going on a YouTube live channel, you know, and saying, oh, I'm in a work meeting, but I could type. No worries, no worries. Yeah, I'm sincerely curious what you mean by they are two distinct different roles. So now if we look at the GitLab handbook here and their policies, you could see here that they are referencing AC-2, AC-2, AC-6, 7, and so forth. And so I haven't confirmed this, but this appears to reference back to the 53, which would probably make PBO pretty happy. So let's see here. So access requests are opened for all new or changing access. So that says AC02. And so if we go over here, we could see access control on is the very first one. AC02 is account management. And we could see here that AC-2 focuses on effective management of organizational accounts to prevent unauthorized access and ensure appropriate privileges are assigned. There's a whole list of related controls, and this is part of the low, moderate, and high baselines. And then we have the full control text as well. We have to monitor the use of accounts and specify authorized users of the system, groups and role membership, access authorizations, privileges, and so forth. And so if I go back over here, we could probably pick out some of these other policies as well, and we'll likely find the exact same thing. One of my key things of doing this is I wanted to showcase how a lot of these different policies will also state out like what control does that associate with. That makes it easier to manage it, to update these policies, and then just having a better idea of like, why is this implemented? What does this have to do with it? So then if we take another one of these, so like this is the change management policy. And look right here, it says changes are documented in accordance with the relevant procedures, CM-3. So then if we're not sure about that, if we have no idea what the hell it's talking about, then we can go over here and we can look up the 53, and like 53A provides a really awesome resource. Matter of fact, I'll probably pull that up. So 853A is an awesome resource as well, which gives you like a really good in-depth understanding of the different controls. And I'm going to drop the main page for 53A. Yeah, I can't help it with all of the whiteness on all of these pages and so forth. Like, yeah, it is what it is. I don't think they even have a dark mode on here. So, yeah. I'm live streaming with my, headlamps turned on towards me. So if I'm blinded, you guys have to be as well. Although I do still need to remember to put a disclaimer for, non-dark mode. NIST should just be assumed to never be in dark mode yet. Yeah, exactly, Cam. And that's kind of my point of why I was trying to showcase this particular example is not only is this really awesome to go through and learn and see how a lot of this wording and what policies and so forth they have, but also it's a perfect example of why you would put the control numbers in there and how it's a benefit. And so like CM3, if we look at this NIST document for 53A, it's 733 pages, but now if I just go through and try to search for CM-3, oh gosh, where is it? Oh gosh, all right. Let's find this control. So we're in configuration management, so CM, configuration management. And so you could see CM 01, let's scroll down. So 03, I believe, is what we were talking about. And that's another thing to mention too, is a lot of people may not be familiar, but just a really key note real quick is that 853 R5 was released. And then in November of 2024, they updated it and they changed it to where instead of it stating CM-3, they added the zeros. So now it's CM-03 and not -3. It was a very, very minor update to the controls, just for the control numbers themselves. It was just a very minor update. And so that's technically revision 5.1.1. Just as something interesting to know. And they have this 853A updated for that. But now the point that I was getting to is that that policy references back to CM03. And so we can pull up the 53A and we could see how it's completely broken down. So configuration change control. Select from organizational processes for configuration change control mechanisms that implement configuration change control. And then we could see here assessment objectives. Determine if, so like if we're going through and we're assessing this particular control, we need to determine if mechanisms used to automate configuration change control are defined. Approval authorities to be notified of and request approval for proposed changes to the system are defined. The time period after which to highlight changes that have not been approved or disapproved is defined. Personnel to be notified when approved changes are complete is/are defined. And then also it'll continue to go through and break down what each section of the 53 for these various controls. And this is why I find the 53A to be very useful, is because it provides like the most broken down format that I've seen for the controls. And PBO has a video all about the 53A. And so this I just find to be a really good reference. And so for an example, if we're going through on this policy right here, it's mentioning CM3, CM4, and so forth, then we could kind of reference back to that A and see if this policy dictates out what it's supposed to. They do have the complete change management standard attached here as well. Is it going to give me yeah, it won't even give me access to that yet. And then they also even have an exemptions list as well. Security and technology policy exemptions policy process. So they even have an entire document here that mentions their exemptions, or some exemptions for the process. GitLab does have dark mode available. I don't see any dark mode here. Maybe if you have an account or something. How do I enable dark mode? Huh, Evan? I don't see it, and it certainly did not default to it. Maybe if I'm signed in or something they do, but at least on their handbook with no account signed in or otherwise, they do not seem to. But yeah, so that's just some of the different references I wanted to mention there. And then like this is the change management policy, and looking over this is very simplistic. They do have their separate standard as well, which appears to require an actual login for. So they're only providing some of this. Now, maybe if I have a GitLab account, then it would give me access to that, but it is behind this login. So I try not to show things behind a login. Controlled document procedures. This is a controlled document in line with GitLab's regulatory obligations. Changes to controlled documents must be approved or merged by a code owner. All contributions are welcome and encouraged. Controlled document procedure. I really like how they have this all listed out though too. Board of Directors and Corporate Governance is another one over here. So Board of Directors, Corporate Governance. This page is intended to capture GitLab board practices, but we evolved these over time, and this page does not capture all changes. The source of truth for board details is GitLab's investor relations website. So they have their meeting process. So 2 to 3 weeks prior to the formal Board of Directors meeting, for an hour and 10 minutes, Q1 to Q3, with 140 minutes for Q4. That's oddly specific. So they're literally outlining exactly how long their board meetings are and so forth. Yeah, I find that kind of interesting. I wonder if is that kind of common practice to actually throw that into a policy of some sort or otherwise to limit. I mean, there has been a lot of chatter about limiting meetings and so forth. There's a lot of people that I've talked to where literally half of their day is just meetings. You know, how effective is that really? I think it definitely depends. There was also another company I read about where they actually made it to where you weren't allowed to do meetings unless you had to, like you can't communicate it over some form of chat or email. And even if you did do a meeting, it had to be like less than 15 minutes or something, with an agenda approved and everything or something. Compensation and Leadership Development Committee, the meeting process for that. There's a lot of information in here. But so this is where I can see like this being a really good reference. And then they have, I mean, there's got to be hundreds of documents over here on the left. So some of it does have to do with directly with GitLab, but definitely a useful resource. Oh my gosh. Oh, Evan over here, a violation of the Geneva suggestions if they lock dark mode behind account login. All I'm saying is I do not see an option for dark mode. My system is in dark mode and it's not providing me an option to enable it. So I could definitely see from a accessibility standpoint, if I was vision impaired or otherwise, this could be a limitation for me. But I'm also not saying that, you know, I've looked in detail. So left sidebar. All right, well, to change the appearance on the left sidebar, select your avatar, select preferences in the appearance. What did you do? Just copy and paste that from their help docs? Yeah, without an account, I don't have an icon or anything. I don't have an avatar. So yeah, I'm just catching up on chat here. Yeah, you just copied and pasted it from the help docs. Yeah, I don't see any options for that. But yeah, so this was the primary items that I wanted to showcase. Either way, you guys get what I'm saying. So I was showing you this Google dorking on going through, especially for policy development and defined real life types of policies and so forth. I find this to be extremely useful on just utilizing this Google dork parameters for that. We went ahead and skimmed through the Office of Information Technology Services, and they do reference out to the 53. I feel like they could definitely follow the plain language guidelines better within this, but it's also extremely high level. Like this, I don't feel is really designed for everybody. So at least it is designed to be more technical, but still at the same time, like I think it could be worded better personally, but that's just me. And then also showcased the GitLab handbook portion with all of those different policies and procedures and so forth. And then how you can reference those back over to the 53 using the 53A. Also, this Trello board as well. So that's one of the ways that I utilize this Trello board, is to just as a reference point, look up a particular control. Also, when PBO goes through talking about the 53, I can go through and find that control that he's talking about. And then I could actually send a link directly to that control. So like this one for event logging, as an example, I could drop straight into the chat for everybody to click on and go to. Let's see here. And then down here at the bottom, so again, the security section is full of different options. And here's the audit logging for an example. We have the purpose, the scope, roles and responsibilities, the policy, exemptions, reference. I also don't see an authority or sign off. But yeah, I hope that that is useful. If you guys have any questions or otherwise, definitely go through and drop that in Discord. This was the primary purpose for today's video, and then we'll be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. to further go through the different policies and so forth as well. Again, if you guys have any questions, concerns, or otherwise, the Discord server is definitely the place outside of the live streams. You can also drop them in the comments below. But yeah, pretty good information there, and looking at the real world use cases, I think is really the best way to learn it as well. If you guys have any questions or otherwise, I'll stick around for a few more minutes here. And thank you again to B-Dubs as well. I'm dropping that in chat. And then also PBO, did you schedule out your video for this week? I'm going to pull up PBO's channel real quick as well before we bring this to an end. So we do try to keep these under an hour. So an hour is our limitation itself. That's why we're bringing this to an end. So I'm just sticking around for a moment if you guys have anything else there. Oh, come on, PBO. So here's PBO's channel. I dropped this in chat as well. PBO usually goes live every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So give that a look. You could see this last one was AWS guard duty. He's been talking a lot about AWS lately, but I do not see an upcoming video. So hopefully he gets that scheduled out today. Oh yeah, and I can drop a direct link to that as well. So I went through and made these Trello boards a little while ago, just from a learning standpoint. So if you click on the Study GRC dashboard on the left, then you can also see the other ones that we have. So I have a board for the version 8 from CIS, the CSF, the 171, the 53, and PCI as well, version 4. The CSF is probably my favorite one. So the NIST CSF 2.0 board looks very good, in my opinion, with all of the colors and so forth that are built into it. And one of the biggest advantages of this is, especially for things like the 853, is the ability to do the filters and search it. So you can just go up to the filter section in the top right and you could search for logging or something along those lines. And then it's going to go through and search the cards for anything that mentions logging. And that's a pretty useful use case. Oh, come on, PBO. I look forward to your live streams when I can attend the late night show. But yeah, I hope to see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. and then also in the Discord server. If you guys have any other questions, definitely reach out. The Discord server is the best place outside of the live streams. Also, tomorrow we have our 11 a.m. With Study GRC for the policies and so forth to continue. And then at 6 p.m. we have the CISSP study group over there on B-Dubs' channel. And then at 8 p.m. Central, hopefully PBO is live streaming. So, bam, GRC Mafia. All right, I'll catch you guys in Discord. You guys have a great rest